Alright, guys, I'm back with another chapter of Psalms, doing it a little bit different hour of the day because still no power here, and so I'm just doing my best to kind of get things done before it gets too dark so I can use the use the generator for other things. I got my kids taking showers and stuff like that now, rotating everything and doing things one at a time. And so, be that as it may, I'm moving forward. I'm going to read another chapter in Psalms. We're in Psalms 11 today, where it reads, God's rule provides stability in the midst of panic. Because we can trust Him, we can face our problems. And He's definitely one of the main reasons why I feel like I can face any problem. So we're going to jump right into it, guys. I trust in the Lord for protection. So why do you say to me, fly like a bird to the mountains for safety? The wicked are stringing their bows and fitting their arrows on the bowstrings. They shoot from the shadows at those whose hearts are right. The foundations of law and order have collapsed. What can the righteous do? But the Lord is in His holy temple. The Lord still rules from heaven. He watches everyone closely, examining every person on earth. The Lord examines both the righteous and the wicked. He hates those who love violence. He will rain down blazing coals and burning sulfur on the wicked, punishing them with scorching winds. For the righteous Lord loves justice. The virtuous will see His face. So that Psalms is actually really interesting to me. When David is the author of this psalm, because I have a study Bible. It's not like I know that off the top of my head. It says that King David, is the author of this specific psalm. And when it says, where did it go? Oh, I gotta find it. The Lord examines both the righteous and the wicked. He hates those who love violence. That is Psalms 11, verse 5. David was a very violent man. And so I know that he was not violent because he loved violence. So I guess that is definitely something that deserves discernment and being able to decide between the two. Of the fact that he was violent does not mean that he loved violence. But I think he was quick to anger, very quick-tempered, and there's passages in the Bible that give some explicit detail as to how violent he was. I think that there was, I forget what passage it's in, but it basically tells the story of a wealthier man who he provided protection for over a specific amount of time to basically just ease the burden for this man. It was unrequested. He didn't ask for this help, but David provided it nonetheless. And while his men were there protecting his herds and what I imagine other resources he had and the people that were acquiring this for this man, those men went to him and asked for some food or some drink while they were there, just providing that escort, if you will, or armed guard. And the man turned him away and basically fluffed him off and said, "Man, who is this David you speak of? That's not my guy. I don't know who you're talking about." And when David's men reported this to him, now they had been providing a service that was not requested, but they'd been providing it none the same because they felt like it was the right thing to do. When they told David what that man who they'd been protecting had said, he said, "Okay, that's all right. Grab your men. We're going to go kill all of them." And they were on the way. If it were not for that man, his wife basically showing up before David met and slayed all those people and begged for his forgiveness and said, "Sorry, my husband's a fool. Here's these things for your men, and we appreciate everything you've done." If it wasn't for that moment, David would have killed everybody. And so it's very interesting that even though David was known to be violent, he didn't love violence. It wasn't his means to an end. It was simply what he thought was just, what he thought would be right in his earthly eyes. But he also often reflected on that too. When that wife came and stopped him and said, "Hey, he said, man, thank God he sent you. I didn't want to have to do this. I just felt like it was going to happen. If he's going to be disrespectful like that, if things need to be righted, I'm going to take his life and I'm going to kill everybody that belongs to him. And I don't know if that was just an Old Testament just thought process, if they feel like any type of insult, almost like what we think in the wild, wild west. Say if someone insults you or a family member, say it's got to go to blows. One of you have to die now. And so I imagine that there's some level of honor that is portrayed in that thought process. But man, is it eye-opening for me to see that, hey, he recognizes that he hates those who love violence. God hates those who love violence. But it still says God saw David as a man after his own heart. And it's just interesting to see just the level of God's grace, knowing that he's a violent man, knowing that his knee-jerk reaction is not the godly way. He still reflects on those events with God, which is what I think the whole point is. And so, with that being said, I'll continue to ponder on this, but be ready to read chapter 12 tomorrow. And it says, the proud and lying words of people versus the true and pure words of God. A call for protection against those who try to manipulate us. And on that note, I'll be ready to read with you guys tomorrow. Have a good night. God bless. I love you. Jesus loves you. That's my son Micah in the back, and my little puppy dog Baker. But I'll be reading with you guys tomorrow, and it'll be chapter 12. Have a good night, and God bless. See ya.